Good morning, guys. This is Miss Fullington. Today is Tuesday, October 20th. And so in social studies, we have been talking about the symbols, right? Texas symbols that are very important to us and why they are important to us. So yesterday, we talked about the Texas state flag and why it is important to us. And we even learned about the three colors and what they are. So we know that white is purity, red is bravery, and blue is loyalty. So today we are going to learn about our Texas state flower, the bluebonnet. So we're going to read the book called The Legend of the Bluebonnet by Tommy DePaulo. So let's go ahead and listen to The Legend of the Bluebonnet. Well, is it doing anything? Oh, no sound. Let's see. There we go. That's why.
The legend of the Bluebonnet. 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 An old tale of Texas, retold and illustrated by Tommy DePaulo. Great Spirit, the land is dying. Your people are dying too. The long line of dancers sang. Tell us what we have done to anger you. End this drought. Save your people. Tell us what we must do so you will send the rain that will bring back life. For 3 days, the dancers danced to the sound of the drums, and for 3 days, the people called Comanche, watched and waited. And even though the hard winter was over, no healing rains came. Drought and famine are hardest on the very young and the very old. Among the few children left was a small girl named She Who Is Alone. She sat by herself watching the dancers. In her lap was a doll made from buckskin, a warrior doll. The eyes, nose, and mouth were painted on with the juice of berries. It wore beaded leggings and a belt of polished bone. On its head were brilliant blue feathers from the bird who cries, "Jay, Jay, Jay." She loved her doll very much. Soon, She Who Is Alone said to her doll, the shaman will go off alone to the top of the hill and listen for the words of the great spirits. Then we will know what to do so that once more the rains will come and the earth will be green and alive. The buffalo will be plentiful and the people will be rich again. As she talked, she thought of the mother who made the doll, of the father who brought the blue feathers. She thought of the grandfather and the grandmother she had never known. They were all like shadows. It seemed long ago that they had died from the famine. The people had named her and cared for her. The warrior doll was the only thing she had left from those distant days. The sun is setting, the runner called, as he ran through the camp. The shaman is returning. The people gathered in a circle, and the shaman spoke. I have heard the words of the great spirits, he said. The people have become selfish. For years they have taken from the earth without giving anything back. The great spirits say the people must sacrifice. We must make a burnt offering of the most valued possession among us. The ashes of this offering shall then be scattered to the 4 points of the earth, the home of the winds. When this sacrifice is made, drought and famine will cease. Life will be restored to the earth and to the people. The people sang a song of thanks to the great spirits for telling them what they must do. I'm sure it is not my new bow that the great spirits want, a warrior said. Or my special blanket, a woman added, as everyone went to their teepees to talk and think over what the great spirits had asked. Everyone, that is, except she who is alone. She held her doll tightly to her heart. You, she said, looking at the doll, you are my most valued possession. It is you the great spirits want. And she knew what she must do. As the council fires died out and the teepee flaps began to close, the small girl returned to the teepee where she slept, to wait. The night outside was still, except for the distant sound of the night bird with the red wings. Soon everyone in the teepee was asleep, except she who was alone. Under the ashes of the teepee fire, one stick still glowed. She took it and quietly crept out into the night.
Maddox, put that away.
She ran to the place on the hill where the great spirits had spoken to the shaman. Stars filled the sky, but there was no moon. "Oh, great spirits," she who was alone said, "here is my warrior doll. It is the only thing I have for my family who died in this famine. It is my most valued possession. Please accept it." Then, gathering twigs, she started a fire with the glowing fire stick. The small girl watched as the twigs began to catch and burn. She thought of her grandmother and grandfather, her mother and father and all the people, their suffering, their hunger. And before she could change her mind, she thrust the doll into the fire. She watched until the flames died down and the ashes had grown cold. Then, scooping up a handful, she who was alone scattered the ashes to the home of the winds, to the north and the east, the south and the west. And there she fell asleep until the first light of the morning sun woke her. She looked out over the hill, and stretching out from all sides where the ashes had fallen, the ground was covered with flowers, beautiful flowers, as blue as the feathers of the hair of the doll, as blue as the feathers of the bird who cries, "Jay, Jay, Jay." When the people came out of their teepees, they could scarcely believe their eyes. They gathered on the hill with she who was alone to look at the miraculous sight. There was no doubt about it. The flowers were a sign of forgiveness from the great spirits. And as the people sang and danced their thanks to the great spirits, a warm rain began to fall and the land began to live again. From that day on, the little girl was known by another name, one who dearly loved her people. And every spring, the great spirits remember the sacrifice of the little girl, and fill the hills and valleys of the land, now called Texas, with the beautiful blue flowers, even to this very day. The end.
All right. So now we know how the bluebonnets came to be in Texas. What happened? Harlow? What did she give up?
She gave up the doll.
The doll.
In the fire.
Yes. Was that her prized possession?
Yeah.
That was something that she cared about the most. And if you give up, she gave up something that she loved the most, and that's all she had. And when she gave that up, it says that the spirits saw that and honored her, and they gave her back a beautiful gift. And what was that gift? The bluebonnets. So I'm going to show you in Seesaw where you're going to go. All right. So in Seesaw, you're going to activities. And right here on Tuesday, 10/20, it says the Texas Bluebonnet. Here's a shorter version of this story. If you want to read it, you can press the little link, the circle link, and press it again. And it's gonna give you an ad. But once that ad is finished, you'll just press skip ad. And it's going to go ahead and give you a shorter version of the story that we actually read. Oops, what happened here? Let's see, hold on. There it goes. So right here.
The Story of Bluebonnet by Tommy DePaola.
So this is the shorter version of the story that we just read, because the version that we have is about 7 minutes long. This one's only about 3 minutes. So this would typically be like a kindergarten, first grade book, but it gives the important points of the story. So if you need to watch it or read it again or listen to it again for your assignment, this is a story that you could use. All right, so when you're done with your story, I'm going to have you, it says here, click the link to read the story of The Legend of the Bluebonnet. Then press Add the Response button to complete the activity by using the drawing tool and the label tools. So when I add a response, I'm going to act like a student. And so yesterday we had this. So what was this called? And so just for fun, I'm going to put the Bluebonnet in blue. Yes, you are doing this on C. So I'm just putting the Bluebonnet on here. That way you know how to spell it. Oops. Hold on, my screen is frozen on the actual screen. So let's see what I need to do. 1 second. Oh, give it just a second, guys. Yes, I know. All right, guys. So right here, you're going to put the Bluebonnet right here. You're going to say it is, what is it? It is it's a flower. What's the color? And you're going to give me a fact from the story that we just read. And then you have the opportunity to color the Bluebonnet. So if you don't know what a Bluebonnet looks like, you can press View Instructions. And you can actually look at some pictures through the story that looks like a Bluebonnet. Okay? So when you're done, you can go into Epic. And Epic has flowers. You can research different flowers to see what other wildflowers we have in Texas. Like we have the Indian paintbrush. And so that's something else that grows right beside the Bluebonnet. Yes. So you can go ahead and do that right now. So you may go ahead and log out of this Google Meet and complete your activity for the Bluebonnet. Okay, guys? See you later.